Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night, or if you guys are out there in the world. So as you guys can tell on my screen, we are trading at almost $67,000 for Bitcoin. We are still in greed at about roughly 65, and most of the market jumped up today. In the last 24-hour span, for an example, most of the top 100 have well, we just witnessed some big moves across the board. Even XRP had a pretty nice move today, which we will talk about. We are going to address that. XRP is almost at 56 cents. On the 24-hour span, it's up about almost 5% exact. So nothing too crazy there, but like I said, we are going to be addressing a few things around that and really kind of talk a little bit more about it. If we actually look at the top 500, there is significant movement across the board for a lot of altcoins. In fact, a lot of these altcoins I have been talking about within the Discord, and also some of them openly on the channel as well. But if you guys definitely want to go check out the Discord or even the Patreon group, there is those links down in the description below. Now, outside of all of this, right, we are addressing what the next big move on Bitcoin is going to be, because everyone is sitting here wondering what is next for this market. And there's also a lot of narratives going around about altcoins and if altcoins are even going to see any money flow into them from Bitcoin, which I do find very, very interesting, which of course we will talk about as well. Now, before we fully jump on in, I want to ask all of you out there, how would you guys like if I started to give away a piece of clothing from tokenized threads on every single episode? It is going to be one winner per video, obviously, but this is my apparel store that I launched back in 2023. There is so much on here in terms of, apparel around XRP, XDC, XLM, HBAR, you name it. There's a lot of things to look at on that website. If you guys do want to go check it out, tokenizedthreads.com. If you guys do want me to do a giveaway per video, I will start doing that. I definitely have to figure out a few things beforehand though, but if you guys do want to go check out some of the clothing, you guys are more than welcome to. And like I said, this is my own store. This is the official apparel of the channel. So if you guys do want to go check it out, you guys are more than welcome to, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Now, let's talk about a few things. So you probably remember this post going back to the 18th, and I did quote Credible Crypto because this is his chart that he actually posted, where we were sitting at about roughly 61K on Bitcoin, and he was expecting us to go up into this red demand zone. Now, if we really look at where we are at right now, we're basically getting very, very close to that point. And this is where things get a little bit more interesting. And I kind of talked about it as well in previous videos and even in the live stream on why this is going to be a very significant move, because this next move on Bitcoin will either confirm if we are going to have a major breakout or if we are going to have a significant pullback. So I quoted this and I said, looking at this chart right now, I do notice something very interesting on why this could play out perfectly. Everyone is expecting lower right now. What if we bounce significantly instead and tap around 70K like Cred has on this chart? It would crush late shorts and even liquidate high leverage shorts too. It would make it would also make the majority think that we are going higher in the short term, but what comes next? Well, I'm not sure what Cred is thinking. I didn't get to watch his recent videos, but this could be when the overall majority of the market gets punished, right? How so? Well, this could be the moment where we finally target that demand zone I mentioned, i.e. mid 50K region. Imagine how many longs would be wiped out. It catches both sides off guard. Bears and bulls both will be targeted. The entire market will be shook. Anything is possible. I could be wrong, Cred could be wrong, etc. We take this market day by day and focus on key levels. Now, I did just push a post right before I started recording this video, and I said, as we get closer and closer to the upper demand zone on Bitcoin, everyone should be cautious. There are a few things to watch for to prepare for the next move. One, watch for a breakout above $74,000. This would take us to $80,000 next. Two, watch for a rejection around $70,000 to $73,000. If we get the option to move, then we would either create a higher low or the possibility of us tapping the next demand zone around the mid or low $50,000 region. Don't complicate this too much. Regardless of if we get the pullback or not, we are still expecting higher later this year. And yes, don't take from these posts and say, oh, well, that's it. We're done. We're selling off. No, we're still expecting much higher prices later on this year, but we should be prepared for anything in the short term. That way we can make sure that we put our money to work in a very efficient way. Now, as we do look at Bitcoin, this is the current chart. So we are fighting the $67,000 region, which is major resistance right now on Bitcoin. In fact, it's the level that we tapped on April 15th, right before we sold off, down to this 59.6K region. Now, I have a few scenarios on this chart. It's a little bit confusing to most, but it's okay. I will break it fully down. So I have us breaking over 67K and going into this demand zone up here, 70.7K to about roughly $74,000. Now, we don't know how high Bitcoin's going to go here, but it's around roughly 70K, right? That's what we're expecting. From there, we either one, clear the 74K level almost, right? It's like 73.9. And then we go higher, right? We go to 80K plus. That's great. Everything's all, sunshine and, it's no clouds in sight. It's all good. But there's also the other scenario on this chart, which is we sell off, right? And that's this path on the chart that I have. Now, there's two scenarios if we do sell off. One, we find support at a higher low. So just to put things into perspective real quick, this is our significant low just recently. Our next higher low should be somewhere around this region here. So if we are going to sell off from there, the most bullish scenario in the short term would be us actually finding some support at a higher low, holding that, and then going higher. In this scenario, I have it at about roughly $64,000. But if we don't create a higher low, then yes, I do think that we continue to sell off into this demand zone down here. Now, this is like 50,000 to like 53K. We don't have to go that deep. It could be around like 54 to 56K. And, that's still a very fair level. But like I said, we don't have to get that deep of a price action move on Bitcoin in order for us to actually just reset and actually go higher. We already technically got a reset on these two wicks back here on April 19th and also the 17th. But we still need to be cautious in case we do get that move, because that would completely sweep the market. It will shake out majority. And like I said, it will catch both sides off guard, which is something that I always look at. It's not so much, all right, well, what's everyone expecting? Let's do the opposite. No, it's, what would everyone expect? Both sides, right? Even if you weren't following the herd, you're like, all right, well, we should pull back. We should go here. Well, this is how we shake out the entire market. This is how the entire market gets shook. So again, anything is possible. Personally, I would love for us to find a higher low and then just continue higher, or even just break 74K. I'm prepared for either scenario. And the best way to prepare for the scenario is just remain calm. Make sure that you still have your long-term holdings locked in. Your bags are packed, but also have stable coins on the sidelines ready to buy the dip just in case we get that major pullback. Now, what's a few things that are telling me that we are getting very close to alt season? Well, Bitcoin dominance is fighting 55.25% right now, which is a resistance area on this chart. Personally, I would love for us to actually range under this resistance and then just completely reject. There's still the possibility, though, that we break up here, range, and then go up into this zone up here, which I have outlined on the chart. Either scenario is going to lead for us to, sell off immediately on the Bitcoin dominance chart. So we're still expecting alt season at the end of the day. no matter what scenario happens here on Bitcoin dominance. So if we have, we range here and then we go up here, again, what should be the deciding factor on when this happens? Well, it should probably be within the next 2-3 weeks at the latest. So we're going to continue to watch this. But ultimately, if we clear on the weekly chart, by the way, if we clear this level here, which is like roughly 55.71%, if we clear that and close over that on the weekly, that will confirm us actually going to 58% to 60%. And then from there, we look for the major rejection and then the downtrend to finally begin on Bitcoin dominance, which will lead us to alt season. Now, also the US dollar. Now, this is on the daily. I know it looks a little bit rough because, again, we're looking at two scenarios here where we, break up into this demand zone. This is the upper demand zone. We either range and break out or we reject from here. This is what the weekly chart looks like on the US dollar index. Now, let me just clear up this chart just to kind of show you guys real quick. So again, we've been riding this overall trend, and this is a little bit different on the weekly. So this is what the actual trend looks like on the weekly chart. So we've been riding this for a little bit of time. And the big thing is that we're starting to turn red here. Now, this could very well be the beginning of when we actually sell off officially on the DXY. Reason why is, well, because as we really look at a few things in the past, when we had a bit of a breakout to the upside within this demand zone, it just rejected. This is back in October. We rejected here. Now, we did range for a little bit of time, as you guys do see. But is this time different, and are we going to break out above this level? Well, a clear sign of that would be actually on the daily chart, and it would be a close above this level here, which is 107. 107, almost 1. So as we look at this, right, we're still watching for this chart to either have a confirmed breakout or break down. The daily is what's going to really kind of give us that. But I have been looking at RSI on the lower time frames. Actually, specifically, even if we go and look at the the 1 day on the dollar, RSI is still a little bit peaked here, which tells me that, yes, this could very well have a major sell-off. We kind of started to see this back here as well in October before we reject it heavily. It takes a little bit of time, though. As you guys do see, we range for quite some time here. If we actually look at this real quick, let's actually look at the day that we peaked. So this was the day that we peaked. For us to actually sell off, it took about roughly 30 days. So 1 month to really kind of sell off. So, this could very well take us into next month, which is also why I say like Bitcoin dominance could take, 2-3 weeks. It will also align perfectly with the DXY selling off. And also, by the way, the MACD is starting to turn and weaken, which means, guess what? Price action will most likely do the same and reject. And the big thing to also focus on is the opposite price movement that the DXY has with Bitcoin. Remember, if the DXY is pumping, Bitcoin is most likely going to sell off. If the DXY is going to sell off, Bitcoin will continue to pump. So again, it's the opposite price action. DXY pumping, Bitcoin selling off. DXY, dropping, Bitcoin's pumping. The dollar weakening is very good for risk on assets. The dollar being strong is very bearish for risk on assets. Now let's talk about alt season. So a few people are actually noticing with Bitcoin dominance, the same exact thing that I just kind of alerted to, which is the idea that when we look at Bitcoin dominance, right? Alluding to, when we look at Bitcoin dominance, we are watching to see it range here and sell off. If we go over here to Crypto Wizard, we have Alt's Time to Shine, top called. A weekly breakout below 55.20%. Support is upon us. Alts are beginning to gather strength against Bitcoin, and yes, they actually are. I'm going to show you guys that real quick. So this is the overall chart that he has in place on Bitcoin dominance. This is an ABC correction, and you can see the spike to the upside, and then now we really look at a major sell-off from this resistance level. That's also why we are really kind of looking at this and saying like, all right, well, is this the time that this is going to have a major pullback? Even on the 3 days, you guys do see, right? We're still kind of watching this closely. It's still having a little bit of a bounce at resistance, but we're still chopped in here. We're going to continue to watch this closely throughout the week. And if I do see anything significant, obviously I'm going to update you guys. But right now, we're still kind of just ranging and it's waiting for that big move. Now, also, TechDev said altcoins are ready. The market is not. And this is what we actually have on his chart. And this is the total market cap excluding the top 10. And as you guys do see, we have this yellow circle on the chart, followed by the overall LMACD. And you can see what's really kind of happening here. We're starting to see a little bit of a peak here. At the same exact time that we're having the same exact pattern where we back tested that resistance zone, and we did that the last 2 times that altcoins started to break out in a very heavy way. And you know what's funny about this? Go look at the path to Altseason. After Bitcoin has its major jump, what's next? Ethereum. What does the Ethereum Bitcoin price chart look like? It looks like this, right? Bottom, we're having this major downtrend, but we're still riding this trend line. We're waiting for the spike to the upside. Look at the RSI. The RSI is gaining momentum while the price continues to go down. This is hidden bullish divergence. So we are watching for this to start its upward price movement. Now this could range on. That's why I have this ranging a little bit before we get that big spike to the upside. We're watching this very, very closely. Now, at the same exact time, XRP. Guys, like I said, XRP did have a nice spike today. And just like I said in my recent video, I said XRP is going to explode. This is not an explosion. Guys, this is just merely a little bit of a jump above the 200 weekly EMA, which is a big deal. And we wicked all the way to the 20 weekly EMA at about roughly 57 cents. We're still in this red zone. We need to clear this. The best thing for us to actually do on XRP right now would be us moving to the upside of this trend line, rejecting it, flipping 56 cents into support, and then continuing to the upside and breaking above that trend line. That would be very bullish. But just like I said, the USD pair does not matter. What matters is XRP Bitcoin. And guys, this is following our path perfectly. And the reason why we have been watching this, and the reason why I called for XRP to explode, is because look at the MACD. Just to show you guys real quick, let me circle this on the chart. Look at the MACD. It is about to flip bullish again. Every single time that we've started to see the MACD start to flip like this in a very deep state, because look at these EMAs down here. When we look at this, right, and it's starting to weaken in a very large way, every single time that we had a nice spike like this, guess what ends up happening? XRP explodes in value. Now we're expecting the same exact thing here, but the difference is look at the RSI. The RSI is so damn oversold. Last time that it was like this was back in 2019. Now I know that 2020 was not that great for XRP, but I do think that this is when XRP really starts to break out against Bitcoin. And that's also when XRP dominance starts breaking out. And so far, look at this one as well. Just like XRP Bitcoin, I have us ranging a little bit and then breaking out to the upside. If this happens, XRP holders, buckle up and prepare yourselves, because that should lead us above the 75-cent zone and above the 92-cent zone. That way, we lead all the way back to the 2021 high. And then from there, guess what we target? We target the 2017-2018 all-time high. Now, this is not going to happen in one go. It's going to take some time, and it's going to chop a little bit. The ugly truth is that, yes, you still have to remain cautious, and you still need to be patient. It's going to do something like this, where we kind of range, and then we get the impulsive moves to the upside. It takes time, but everything is hinting at the fact that we are about to have a big move on XRP. This is why I keep telling everyone, I get it, right? We've been waiting for so long. We've been patient for so long. But things are looking very good for altcoins. Bitcoin right now, yeah, we still might have a big drop to the downside of like 64K. We still might even get this, retest down here, but I'm not expecting this. In fact, this doesn't have that much of a high probability like we did have back here. right? Because once we lost 61K, if we closed below that on the daily, that would have confirmed us going down to this level. But we did not get that daily candle close. In fact, we closed right on support. We ranged on support, and then we had the big move to the upside where we are at right now. So we're definitely watching the market closely. The market still looks very good. I know that there has been a lot of uncertainty around the markets, but in my opinion, I'm extremely bullish on this entire space right now. And even if we look in the past where we are at right now in terms of RSI, it's pretty much the same exact range that we were in before the move here back in February, right? After we had that sell-off. Look at this. We had that major sell-off. Again, let me just show you guys real quick where the RSI just dropped to. Let me put this to a little bit of a thinner line so that you guys can clearly see. Let me put this one to a thinner line as well. So like I said, back here in January, we had the major sell-off. This was actually, if I look at this in terms of the percentage drop, this was about roughly a 21.55% drop. If we look at from the top here to the bottom, this was about roughly a 19, actually it's a little bit lower, 19.37% drop. We had that drop, had this drop, RSI down to this flat line. I know that we wicked a little bit lower down here in terms of the RSI back in January, but from there we jumped up, ranged a little bit, right? Found a little bit of a floor, and then we had that big move to the upside where RSI actually hit the overbought territory, kind of ranged sideways, cooled off a little bit more, and then spiked to the upside, and that's when we actually had that local top. Now on this next move, this would essentially be the wave 3 followed by the wave 4 down to the downside, and then the wave 5 is the big move. That will be the big move on Bitcoin. That should take us to anywhere between like 80 to 100K, and if you do believe that Bitcoin's going much higher, then it would possibly take us to like $100,000 to $120,000 to possibly even 150K. It all depends on when the chart is telling us that Bitcoin is pretty much done and it's weakening. And the best way to look at that is if the price is actually going up, right, while the RSI is actually going down, which is hidden bearish divergence, which a lot of people actually overlook still now in the market, even though it's been proven time and time again to pretty much tell us when Bitcoin is topped. But regardless, with all of that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on for more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.